Lair. Hatchery. Well done. And now your faithful servant imps will carry back your gold to Dungeon Heart. Once here. The hatchery you've built provides some food, but not enough. An area 3 by 3 or more is what's required. Ah, you've picked a creature up. To drop him, right-click anywhere on your land. Observe. Red flowers float above your imps. These give measure to their health. Their skill acquired and reflect the simple thoughts within. I sense a breach. The servants of Antonius have broken through your walls, and you can move your gaze to see them now by right-clicking on the flashing blades. Training room. First, build a lair, and then a hatchery, then claim the portal near your dungeon heart. Your library is too small to hold your spells. A size of 4 by 4 is what's required. Every bookcase in your library will attract another warlock to your realm. Your library is not yet functional. You must enlarge it. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Your imps have found some dwarves. These righteous little pests may stray onto your land, and if they do, destroy them, for that's what they deserve. Your imps will call your creatures to defend the dungeon heart. They must make sure of its protection above all other tasks. Your dungeon heart is under attack. Your creatures make good progress. One improves his skill to level 2. A creature can train as high as level 4, but that's the limit. Further skill can only be attained out on the battlefield. Lord Darius's walls are breached. Your forces now must kill his guards and stir Lord Darius. Treasury. Workshop. Sentry trap. Wooden door. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. A workshop. Place where trolls will come for fabrication of the doors and traps which help defend your evil. Now watch. Your trolls will fabricate the trap. Then imps will take it to its designated place. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. A sentry trap has been created in your workshop. A firefly has become unhappy because it has no lair. Your lair is too small. These sentry traps will only fire if sufficient is your mana for their power.
You thieving keeper! I will punish you for daring to despoil my land!
Your dungeon has been breached.
Your destiny is to die by my sword!
Son. You need a treasury to store gold. You have claimed a portal. You have... A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Behold. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Observe the creature panel on your screen. Click on creatures' numbers once or more to carry them, then drop them where you will, just as before. Observe also the symbols which lie beside. Use these to gauge your beast's activities, the number which they'll fight or work, and whether they remain good humor. A warlock has become unhappy because he has no lair. You have taken over an enemy guard room. Guard room. Wooden bridge. You have claimed a portal. The wooden bridge. You'll find these useful as you build your landlocked creatures. Easy passage over water, even lava. But be cautious over lava, as the bridge will slowly perish in the heat. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. A sentry trap has been created in your workshop. You have taken over an enemy bridge. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. The skeleton. This fearless set of bones needs neither sleep nor nourishment. Its only urge to kill, and when in battle marches forth and slays without remorse. Your creatures will starve if you do not build them ahead. A sentry trap has been created in your workshop. Your creatures quiver with foreboding when they approach the fear traps here. It's only death which will enable any creature to surpass their fear. Your imps are diligent in their retrieval of the dying and the slain, but only when on land you've claimed. So when a creature perishes on water or on lava, it is for you to build a bridge beneath it. Only then can it be dragged to where it serves you best. Torture chamber. Your creatures are unable to get to a torture chamber. Prison. Barricade. Fear trap. Keeper. Alarm trap. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. You need a prison to impound enemy creatures. You have claimed a workshop. You have claimed a hatchery.
They close on us, those evil ones. They must be stopped at any cost.
A goblin has become unhappy because he has no lair. Your creatures are unable to get to a hatchery. Your dungeon heart is under attack. The landlord Casino. Gas trap. That coward Keeper Dante now has fled, and so I trust this land to you and give you mission to defeat the Guardian Wizards 5. And then, Lord Titus, prove me right, for evil in its glory must not fail tonight. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. You need a prison to impound enemy creatures. You have claimed a hatchery. You cannot afford to build this room. You need a treasury to store gold. Your creatures are unable to get to a treasury. A troll has become unhappy because he has no lair. You have claimed a casino. Your creatures will starve if you do not build them a hatchery. A troll has become angry because he has no lair. You have taken over an enemy room. Keeper, the corner becomes too much for you to handle. A single slap will expel him from your domain.
dark designs will never succeed while I still draw breath. Take
Braced door. For your part, Keeper, go, destroy the outpost with the knight and seek his help. Succeed, and no assistance can be offered by the dead to cause us good, and we'll rejoice. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Your minions need a larger training room. You cannot afford to build this room. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Your Create Imp spell has been upgraded. A mistress has become unhappy because she has no lair. A warlock has become unhappy because he has been slapped. Your Thunderbolt spell has been upgraded. You have 10 minutes remaining. It is payday. You have 5 minutes remaining. You have 4 minutes remaining. You have 3 minutes remaining. A A warlock has become unhappy because he has no work to do. You have 2 minutes remaining. Behold, the knight and his companions sally forth towards this land.
You...
Spike trap. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. Your minions need a larger training room. A mistress has become unhappy because she has no lair. You have claimed a portal. Build a bigger hatchery to keep your creatures well fed. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Necessity is the mother of invention, so 'tis said. And you may find your needs addressed by warlocks wise, who plough through ancient texts within your dungeon's library. Listen out for what they find. I see you have discovered a magical item. Your dungeon heart is under attack. You have taken over an enemy treasury. A warlock has become unhappy because he has no lair. A warlock has become unhappy because he has no lair. You've taken over an enemy room. Speed is vital. You must raise a fighting force before the heroes notice you. Your library is under attack. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. It is payday. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. Your creatures are unable to get to a training room. You have taken over an enemy treasury. You have taken over an enemy treasury. You have taken over an enemy treasury. You have 30 minutes remaining. You've taken over an enemy room. Your library is under attack. Your dungeon heart is under attack. You've taken over an enemy room. Remember well your mission, Keeper. 'Tis the gem you seek. It lies in the dungeon heart of Asmodeus. This you must destroy. Though other foes distract you, focus single-minded on this task. A mistress has become unhappy because she has no food. A warlock has become unhappy because he has no food. You have taken over an enemy bridge. A new spell has been researched. Tremor. This spell spreads sabotage, disruption, scatters enemies and friends alike, while shaking dungeon walls and roofs to make them weak. A powerful cast indeed. Your Create Imp spell has been upgraded. I see you have discovered a magical item. Your Thunderbolt spell has been upgraded. It is payday. Your creatures have been blessed with experience. Your creatures have been blessed with experience. You have taken over an enemy guard room. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Do not doubt that hero forces mobilize against you, Keeper, so be swift. Trigger trap. You're not alone in your ambitions, Evil One. You are joined by 4 unholy rivals, and all seek to rule this land. So take them on. The prize will come to you when they are gone. Boulder trap. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. Steel door. You have taken over an enemy bridge. You have taken over an enemy library. You have taken over an enemy portal. Your creatures will starve if you do not build them a hatchery. You have defeated an enemy keeper. A salamander has become unhappy because it has no lair. You have taken over an enemy room. You have claimed a lair. You have claimed a hatchery. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. If Horny becomes too much for you to handle, a single slap will expel him from your domain. You have defeated an enemy keeper. The Steel Door. Strongest of all battles, it holds attackers long enough for you to muster your defense. But so costly is it that you must plan its placement well. You have taken over an enemy room. You have claimed a bridge. You have claimed a library. It is payday. You have claimed a lair. You have claimed a workshop. You have claimed a torture chamber. You have claimed a treasury. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You have claimed a portal. You have claimed a hatchery. You have claimed a training room. You have claimed a prison. You have claimed a bridge. You have claimed a portal. One of your creatures is being held in an enemy prison. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. You have taken over an enemy prison. You have taken over an enemy torture chamber. You have taken over an enemy portal. You have taken over an enemy training room. Your prison is under attack. You have defeated an enemy keeper. You have taken over an enemy room. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have claimed a lair. You have claimed a casino. It is payday. You have claimed a treasury. You have claimed a hatchery. A salamander has become unhappy because it has no lair. You have claimed a library. You have claimed a training room. You have claimed a workshop. Your portals have attracted as many creatures as they can. You have defeated. All graveyard. A few skeletons are useful as they're fearful, but you'll need some stronger creatures too before your main attack. Your minions need a larger training room. A vampire has risen in your graveyard. A vampire rises now, a beast who's cheated death. And if you train and nurture him, he'll learn to do your bidding. You need a prison to impound enemy creatures. You've taken over an enemy room. Your graveyard is full of the dead. Make it larger. A vampire has risen in your graveyard. You cannot afford to train creatures. It is payday. I see you have discovered a magical item. A vampire has risen in your graveyard. A vampire has risen in your graveyard. A vampire has risen in your graveyard. Enemy creatures have been made unhappy. You have taken over an enemy workshop. You have taken over an enemy portal. Your portal is under attack. The enemy has taken your portal. You have... A goblin has become unhappy because he has no lair. There is a... You need a treasury to store gold. Your lair is under attack. Your prison is under attack. Your dungeon heart is under attack. You have claimed a portal. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You have claimed a room. Your creatures are unable to get to a hatchery. Your creatures are unable to get to a lair. It is payday. You have claimed a room. You do not have enough gold to pay your creature's wages. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You need a graveyard to store corpses. Your creatures are unable to get to a prison. Imprisoning on. You do not have enough gold to pay your creature's wages. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. The goblin has become unhappy because he hasn't been paid. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Imprisoning off. Imprisoning on. I see you have discovered a magical item. You have taken over an enemy prison. You have taken over an enemy bridge. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. I see you have discovered a magical item. It is payday. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You have taken over an enemy bridge. taken over an enemy room. You've taken over an enemy room. You've taken over an enemy torture chamber. You have taken over an enemy bridge. Your library does not have enough storage. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Build a bigger hatchery to keep your creatures well fed. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have taken over an enemy guard room. You have taken over an enemy bridge. You have successfully interrogated an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Map information has been divulged by the victim in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Your torture chamber is under attack. Your creatures have been blessed with experience. You have taken over an enemy bridge. It is payday. Your torture chamber is under attack. One of your torture chambers has been destroyed. Here. Your dungeon heart is under attack. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You have to...
Yeah.
You have now power enough to summon Horny when you wish, but when you do, the mana cost is great. So find and claim the mana vaults which lie within this realm. And then, he's yours to call on, and unleash to slay the cowardly but well-defended lord. Magic door. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. A treasury to store gold. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You need a prison to impound enemy creatures. You need a graveyard to store corpses. Your minions need a larger training room. A mistress has become unhappy because she has no lair. Your lair is too small. It is payday. The magic door, though not as strong as steel, will fire balls of flame against those who push it. You have claimed a mana vault. You have taken over an enemy guard room. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You have claimed a mana vault. You have taken over an enemy room. see you have discovered a magical item. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. Your creatures have been blessed with experience. Your creatures have been blessed with experience. You've power enough to slay the land.
Don't abuse it.
So summon Horny. Cast him near the stronghold to the north and east, and save the destruction.
Need a little help from time to time? I'm yours to call. When I come to kill! So make sure it's your enemies I slay. If the fodder's insufficient, and your minions block my way, I'll have their blood for breakfast.
It is payday. Surely even dungeon keepers must retire to a lair of some description. Your creatures are in awe of your talents. Send him forth to march on heroes to the northeast and to bring about their doom.
To arms, my good and faithful friends! This fiend is yours and mine to fill it!
Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. You've taken over an enemy room. Combat pit. You have taken over an enemy prison. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. Your creatures will starve if you do not build them at home. You have claimed a mana vault. You have claimed a mana vault. Behold, Keeper, a new area of map uncovered, previously unseen. You have taken over an enemy prison. Imprisoning off. Imprisoning on. You have taken over an enemy room. A rogue has become unhappy because he has no lair. You have taken over an enemy prison. You need a graveyard to store corpses. Imprisoning on. Your creatures are unable to get to a lair.
You have my allegiance, Keeper. Don't abuse it.
It is payday. You have taken over an enemy prison. Your treasury is too small. Build a bigger hatchery to keep your creatures well fed. The Pit. This room is an arena where your creatures prove their prowess in such martial sports. Place 2 or more therein and watch them fight each other unto death. Thus, the victor's trained to higher levels in its combat skills. You cannot afford to build this room. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have taken. It is payday. You have taken over an enemy bridge. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Keep on. If Horny becomes too much for you to handle, a single slap will expel him from your domain. A creature has died in your prison, and risen as a skeleton.
Incarcerate me, would you now? Hold!
Lightning trap. Secret door. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. Your creatures are unable to get to a lair. Build a bigger hatchery to keep your creatures well fed. Your creatures are unable to get to a hatchery. Your dungeon heart is under attack. You have taken over an enemy workshop. Your lair is too small. You have taken over an enemy bridge. Behold! You need a treasury to store gold. You have claimed a portal. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. Your creatures will starve if you do not build them a hatchery. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. A salamander has become unhappy because it has no lair. A salamander has become unhappy because it has no food. Your lair is too small. A goblin has become unhappy because he has no lair. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Your minions need a larger training room. A salamander has become unhappy because it has no lair. You have claimed a mana vault.
You have my allegiance, Keeper. Don't abuse it.
I see you have discovered a magical item. It is payday. You have taken over an enemy guard room. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Keeper, it only becomes too much for you to handle. A single slap will expel him from your domain. You need a prison to impound enemy creatures. You need a graveyard to store corpses. A salamander has become unhappy because it has no food. You have taken over an enemy guard room. A salamander has become unhappy because it has no food. A dark elf has become unhappy because she has no lair. A dark elf has become unhappy because she has no food. It is payday. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. You have taken over an enemy guard room. Your guard room is under attack. The enemy has taken your guard room. You have taken over an enemy bridge. You have defeated an enemy keeper. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. You have taken over an enemy bridge. Your guard room is under attack. The enemy has taken your guard room. You have defeated. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. Temple. Fireburst trap. You have claimed a portal. A mistress has become unhappy because she has no lair. You need a treasury to store gold. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Your lair is too small. Your creatures will starve if you do not build them a hatchery.
You have my allegiance.
You have claimed a
Don't
manor.
abuse it.
Your creatures are unable to get to a training room. You have claimed a torture chamber. You have claimed a prison. Your minions need a larger training room. A salamander has become unhappy because it has no lair. You cannot afford to train creatures. You have taken over an enemy lair. It is payday.
Beware, my sons. I sense invasion. If 'tis true, then whosoever dares attack must not escape alive.
I see you have discovered a magical item. You have taken over an enemy portal. You need a graveyard to store corpses. A creature is starving in your prison. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. You have taken over an enemy torture chamber. You have taken over an enemy training room. You have defeated an enemy keeper.
Can this be
You
so?
have my allegiance.
My son,
Don't
your brother
abuse
has
it.
been slain. Upon my word, the slayer must now perish, and our loss will be avenged.
You have claimed a prison. You have taken over an enemy room. You have claimed a training room. You have claimed a hatchery. You have claimed a treasury. You have claimed a guard room. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You have taken over an enemy casino. You have defeated an enemy keeper.
This day is dark indeed. You kill the sons beloved of their father, and now revenge is all I have to live for. So, prepare to die most horribly.
You have claimed a portal. You have claimed a torture chamber. You have claimed a lair. You have claimed a manor vault. Your bridge is under attack. You have claimed a training room. You have claimed a hatchery. You have taken over an enemy room. You have claimed a workshop. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You have claimed a treasury. You have claimed a library. Your portals have attracted as many creatures as they can. Your bridge is under attack. The enemy has taken your bridge. You have taken over an enemy casino. Your casino is under attack. You have taken over an enemy bridge. It is payday. Keeper, if Horny becomes too much for you to handle, a single slap will expel him from your domain. The enemy has taken your casino. Your creatures have been healed. The enemy has taken your bridge. Your portal is under attack. You have taken over an enemy bridge. Your bridge is under attack. The enemy has taken your bridge. You have to...
Tristan!
Your mission is to capture and convert all three princes to your side. They must neither die, nor be allowed to flee through hero gates, which they'll attempt once one of them is injured. So, to work. You have claimed a portal. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. Your creatures require a place to rest. Build them a lair. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. A mistress has become unhappy because she has no neck.
Don't abuse it!
You have taken over an enemy combat pit. A salamander has left your dungeon. I see you have discovered a magical item. You need a graveyard to store corpses. I see you have discovered a magical item. It is payday. A creature has died in your prison and is risen as a skeleton. You do not have enough gold to pay your creature's wages. Your mission is to capture and convert all three princes to your side. They must neither die, nor be allowed to flee through hero gates, which they'll attempt once one of them is injured. So, to work. You have taken over an enemy combat pit.
my allegiance, Keeper. Don't abuse it.
I see you have discovered a magical item. You need a graveyard to store corpses. I see you have discovered a magical item. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. The entire realm has been revealed to you. Imprisoning off. I see you have discovered a magical item. A black knight has become unhappy because he has no food. You have taken over an enemy bridge. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. Imprisoning on. You have taken over an enemy bridge. It is payday. I see you have discovered a magical item. Your creatures are unable to get to your treasury. Game saved. You cannot afford to train creatures. Your creatures are unable to get to a hatchery. You do not have enough gold to pay your creatures' wages. It is payday. Your creatures are unable to get to a land. Your creatures are happy with your dungeon. Your creatures have been blessed with experience. Your creatures have been blessed with experience. I see you have discovered a magical item. Your creatures have been blessed with experience.
We are attacked by evil. Flee, my brothers. We must preserve the secret of the portal gem.
Do not kill the princes. They must be converted to your cause. A black knight has become unhappy because he has no food.
I am wounded by the minions of evil. Run, my brothers, escape my doom and save the portal gem.
Game saved. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. It is payday. have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber.
Your torments have broken me. I, Felix, will fight for you against...
A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You need a treasury to store gold. Your creatures will starve if you do not build them a hatchery. Your prison is under attack. Your prison is too small. You have claimed a mana vault. You've taken over an enemy room. You need a graveyard to store corpses. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. Your lair is under attack. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. It is payday.
You have my allegiance, Keeper. Don't abuse it.
You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. You have successfully interrogated an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Map information has been divulged by the victim in the torture chamber. Your lair is under attack. Keeper, if Horny becomes too much for you to handle, a single slap will expel him from your domain. A creature is starving in your prison. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Your prison is under attack. One of your prisons has been destroyed. Your dungeon heart is under attack. Your torture chamber is under attack. You have taken over an enemy guard room. A new species of creature has entered your dungeon. You have claimed a portal. Build a bigger hatchery to keep your creatures well fed. It is payday. You have taken over an enemy treasury. Well done. You've sacked the staging post, and thus have blocked this way for heroes to traverse. You've taken over an enemy room. Your treasury is under attack. You have taken over an enemy guard room. Your creatures are impressed with your work. A salamander has become unhappy because it has no food. You have taken over an enemy treasury. Well done. You've sacked the staging post, and thus have blocked this way for heroes to traverse. You've taken over an enemy room. Your prison is too small. Your guard room is under attack. You have claimed a portal. Your torture chamber is not yet functional. You must enlarge it. Your Create Imp spell has been upgraded. Your lair is too small. Your Thunderbolt spell has been upgraded. It is payday. A warlock has become unhappy because he hasn't been paid. A guard has become unhappy because he hasn't been paid. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Game saved. A firefly has become unhappy because it has no lair. Your minions need a larger training room. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. Your possession spell has been upgraded. Your portals have attracted as many creatures as they can. You need a treasury to store gold. A warlock has become unhappy because he hasn't been paid. Your heal spell has been upgraded. You have successfully interrogated an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Map information has been divulged by the victim in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. You have successfully converted an enemy creature in the torture chamber. A lost soul has entered your dungeon. Oh, now it's wandered out again. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. It is payday.
Cursed be forever, evil forces! You will not pass forth into the upper realm!
You have taken over an enemy bridge. Your hatchery is under attack. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. You have successfully interrogated an enemy creature in the torture chamber. Map information has been divulged by the victim in the torture chamber. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. You have taken over an enemy guard room. You have taken over an enemy treasury. It is payday. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. You cannot afford to build this room. A creature has died in your prison and has risen as a skeleton. Hello? Are you still there? The imps are about to lock up. Your temple is too small. Some of your creatures are unable to get to the call to arms flag. Well, you've sacked the staging post, and thus have blocked this way for heroes to traverse. You've taken over an enemy room. Your creatures are unable to get to a training room. You have taken over an enemy bridge. A mistress has become unhappy because she has no lair.
You may have beaten me, but my final line of guardians will see you perish yet.
It is payday. A dark elf has become unhappy because she has no food. The stone. A warlock has become angry because he